Sometimes it seems like there's no way out of the difficulties life throws at you. But what if your outlook is the key? What if every challenge you face is actually a chance to learn and improve? Picture this. Instead of seeing your challenges as roadblocks, they are opportunities to discover who you really are. With this new outlook, we can recognize that there is an opportunity for growth in every challenge. In this inquiry, we will delve into the ways in which facing life's challenges can reveal a hidden wellspring of inner peace and contentment. Accepting that life is tough makes the difficulties you face feel more manageable. Mental resistance to what happens and the belief that things shouldn't be this way are often the root causes of the biggest trouble. Since everything happens in the here and now, it becomes less scary once you have a surrendering relationship with it. Staying true to yourself is possible, even in the midst of chaos. Somewhere, in the background, there is always a fundamental calm. This essence endures whatsoever may come to pass. We may refer to it as tranquility, but it is really the foundation of contentment, a feeling of health that goes beyond material circumstances. There will be both minor and major obstacles that you must overcome in life. Every day, new, smaller challenges pop up, training you to keep your cool when things don't go according to plan. Your ability to control your emotions improves as you learn to cope with the unexpected behavior of others. Without the need to demand that things be different, this acceptance makes negotiating life's obstacles much easier. No one likes dealing with airline cancellations, and weather shouldn't get in the way of vacation plans. However, we all age, and sickness can happen at any time. The gems concealed beneath the surface of life's mayhem await you as you prepare to peel back the layers of your own resilience. Imagine instead that the trials you've endured are only the setting for the masterpiece that will emerge from them. As we journey through this landscape side by side, you may discover that every obstacle is really a compass, pointing you in the direction of greater introspection. Will you accept the challenge that lies ahead and learn that hardship is really a teacher of character? A low physical resistance makes you more susceptible to sickness, and a dysfunctional mind makes you more likely to get sick overall. Obviously, the body responds to mental states. Your emotional and mental health can have an effect on your physical health, and even conventional medicine is starting to see this. Your vulnerability to disease increases when your psychological and emotional well-being are severely compromised. Since there are more potential sources of disease, no one may claim absolute freedom by declaring, "I'm never going to be sick." Like any physical vehicle, the human body has a finite lifespan, and as it gets on in years, it begins to show signs of wear and tear, much like an old automobile. As time goes on, your car will require more and more parts replacement until eventually it will stop running altogether. When you accept that difficulties are necessary because they shake you out of your complacency, you'll find it much easier to face life's storms. For quite some time, it has been the case here. People endure pain when they face difficulties, and that pain can last for a very long time. Everyone has a spiritual guide, I say from time to time. Since an awakening is supposed to be an accomplished process, you must have trust in the divine intervention. If you do this, sudden acclimatization ultimately brought about by suffering, most people on this world consider their suffering to be their spiritual teacher. Only when some have progressed far enough and endured enough hardship do they encounter a real spiritual instruction, be it a wisdom tradition, a living spiritual teacher, or even a book. "Oh, wow, yes!" they exclaim all of a sudden, as the evolutionary process picks up speed. Consciousness evolves at a snail's pace unless you experience this acceleration. For a large portion of the human population, the arduous process of evolution remains a mystery. We keep making the same mistakes because of that. Those in power and others like them, haven't they studied history? All it takes is a trip down memory lane of 50 years to repeat your previous error. If we rewind the clock 40 years, we'd be doomed to live out the same old story. This is a natural aspect of karma, and eventually, you'll reach that point where acceleration starts, and it's great for all of you. Look at it as a challenge, in whatever shape it may take. It will become quite challenging if your mind starts to construct a complex network of meaningless thoughts around it. When faced with a problem, the majority of the time, all you have to do is decide what to do, take action, or do nothing. At this point, what can be done? The next logical step is to determine what needs doing right this second. Possessing a flowing presence might motivate others to take action. Looking at the situation is necessary prior to performing anything that is inspired by presence. Pay attention to the issue with all of your senses, not just your eyes. In the calm, there is a window of opportunity to tap into primordial intelligence. When a problem comes up, just stare at it. While you're staring, you're not thinking. It's just a matter of looking, awake, and facing it. The duration of this can range from a few seconds to 2 minutes. However, many times, all it needs is a little period of attentive focus. Then, the means to achieve your goals will present themselves to you. Either responding to a situation or realizing there's nothing you can do at the moment are equally acceptable. Since there is no way out of this, you just have to accept it and stay attached. In spite of bad circumstances, there are moments when you might feel a stronger connection to what really matters in life. Becoming acquainted with what is will allow you to swiftly access this source. Accessing the source of satisfaction becomes easier just by becoming friendly with what is. Constant rejection and opposition keeps that which is greater than the self going. Egoism opposes everything. With a few rare exceptions, it's usually against the current moment. Realizing that things cannot be any different than they are and accepting that people and circumstances are as they are, why not? It ought to be no, but since it is, that's impossible. This very second has been ordained by the cosmos and all of its past and present. Everything has an impact on the entirety, since everything is related to everything else. This event has been brought about by the entire cosmos since the Big Bang, and such it is. Yes, you can do something and take action if nothing else is available to you. The first step in doing anything is accepting that something is as it is. The second is seeing what is possible. After that, either something happens, if feasible, or you come to the realization that nothing can be done. After that, you'll be able to let go of the circumstance on an internal level when you surrender. Satisfaction arises in that state of surrender or acceptance, not because things are going well, though they might not be at the moment, but because you are united with life's ultimate source. And it's comfortable. You might be in a bind, but that's okay. The secret to overcoming obstacles in life isn't to wish them away or try to eradicate them, as we've discovered. Rather than resisting them, you should welcome them as chances for development, fellowship, and enlightenment. What may have originally seen as a dependence on other people's approval is really just the natural outgrowth of a higher power's influence on our lives. Embracing the present moment and letting go of the ego's need for approval is the invitation this understanding offers. Always keep in mind that when you allow yourself to be accepted, you draw nearer to your inner quiet and, in turn, to the source of your true happiness. I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe, like, and share this trip if you found the thoughts presented valuable. In the pursuit of a more meaningful and self-aware life, let us band together to disseminate this message and delve further into the universal truths that bind us. In every given moment, a person's actions and words reflect their level of awareness. You cross paths with humans from time to time, and it's not uncommon for people to exhibit varying degrees of consciousness. It is possible to encounter familiar faces, whether they are family members or acquaintances, in 2, 3, or even more modalities of consciousness. You might be aware that there's no telling who might be coming down the stairs on any given morning when you're eating breakfast with your family or roommate. It may have been a warm and welcoming someone who was enthused about life one day, but upon descending the stairs the following morning, a totally different person may have been descending them, expressing dissatisfaction and asking, "Why didn't you do this?" Whoop, I should have guessed a long time ago. That has consumed my thoughts throughout the night. God, it's terrible. I thought that was your thing too. Look who it is. Who knows who will descend the next day, but that was one bright and cheery individual from yesterday morning. They are prone to tremendous swings while dealing with those who are relatively unconscious. You are not dealing with a single human being, but rather with several distinct personalities that manifest at various points in time. I'm referring to those who lack the level of presence necessary to establish a more cohesive sense of self just yet. Every time you speak to someone, one of your many personas may emerge and declare, "All right, I'm now very clear in my mind what I want. I swear to you, I will never do something similar to what I did yesterday or 2 days ago. Everything is crystal apparent now. I've had a revelation." His belief that he is in a slightly altered state of consciousness is genuine. A few weeks or days go by, and suddenly it's the same old thing, or worse, from before. After that, you accuse him of being untrustworthy. "I was told a lie. I will not do that again," he declared. "He duped me out of my faith. I had faith in him. I began to trust him again after our lengthy conversation." What was his subsequent action? Because the individual is mostly unconscious, he either repeated the conduct or, worse, failed to notice that he had done it. A person's thoughts and feelings can be influenced by many sub-personalities, which are merely patterns of thought. They assume control of that individual and substitute another virtual presence. That person wasn't the same one, so don't assume anything about their reliability based on your assumptions. There are multiple individuals involved. Your own delusions will set in if you draw any conclusions at all, let alone general ones. You know what? I've learned the hard way that people aren't trustworthy. Their dishonesty is palpable, isn't it? All of a sudden, one sub-personality takes over. Keep in mind that most people are frequently entirely controlled by emotional and mental kinds of conditioning, even though this may be true for most people. Certain forms of conditioning can emerge and dominate an individual for a while before fading. Every once in a while, a person has a flash of insight before the following round of conditioning completely overwhelms them. When you realize that, being around other people becomes simpler because their actions are just reflections of the here and now. Right now, neither can they do anything outside of their current level of consciousness, nor can anything else be true. You ought to be more self-aware, though. Can you please clarify what you mean? You bring up the topic of awareness. What you did, I'll tell you. You got egotistical and started debating. There is no way to win. Yes, life is tough when you have to deal with your mind. Sure, people can be a pain at times. Things might be tough at times, I agree. However, things become much easier when you train your mind to not magnify the difficulties you face and the individuals you come across. That alone alleviates a great deal of stress, allowing your mind to stop being critical and accepting it for what it is. It spins massive tales revolving around characters, events, and both the past and the future. Anxieties, regrets, and worries are mental states that need not accompany the challenges of living. We can overcome these right now. Then there is the real. As part of your spiritual awakening, you will address the dysfunctional ways of thinking that cause you problems. This is, after all, why we are all here. Getting past the mental dysfunction that causes problems makes coping with life's challenges much easier. Despite what the mind would have you believe, they are actually quite simple. There they are, waiting for you to notice them. When you can temporarily detach yourself from your thoughts and rise beyond them, only then can you be truly brilliant. The next step is to wake up and assess the situation. You'll be able to handle it. You look again if the action fails. Otherwise, it's fine. Truly, it is the art of life. When the diseased mentality is removed, things become much easier. When you surrender to the reality of the here and now, the diseased mind disappears. Both internal and external challenges arise. Even while you're already making progress beyond your own head, it's still a formidable obstacle. It is encouraging that the other obstacles persist. But you shouldn't wait for bad things to happen before you step up. It's great when it occurs, but remain present, even when no one is trying to test you. We must not overlook that. In any case, the universe will keep spinning, and the all-knowing intellect will think, "Oh, this person needs more problems. Life will go on as usual. Otherwise, he's always asleep. We should give him a couple more." As has the hard science of following the consciousness of other people and knowing what they think and do all the time. Life will go on as usual, otherwise he's always asleep. We should give him a couple more. We start to observe how our emotions and actions impact our lives and relationships as we delve into the intriguing realm of human consciousness. Changes are more than just annoyances. They are opportunities to learn more about ourselves and those around us. So the next time you encounter someone who seems off-kilter, pause for a second and ask yourself, what part of their story is surfacing right now? Realizing this allows us to deepen our relationships and cultivate empathy in a manner that changes the way we engage with one another. Please consider giving this exploration a like and sharing it with someone you think may find it interesting if you found it helpful. Plus, if you want more material like this, which challenges your assumptions, sparks your interest, and pushes you to improve yourself, then you should subscribe. By working together, we may disseminate these concepts and discover the universal truths that bind us all, paving the way for a life lived with more purpose and awareness.